Let's end this week on a lighter business note. So the girl math trend is taking over social media, and it's a term to describe how young women justify splurging on non-essentials. So let's quickly have a look at what this trend means.
Girl math, girl math, girl math, girl math.
I would love to buy the full set of bedding from Bed-Threads.
So that's an Aussie linen company. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 pillows, top sheet, bottom sheet, duvet. So you got 7 items here. How much is that 7 items going to cost you?
I think it was $656.
There we go. So if you've got to think about now, you're sweating through whatever cheap sheets you're going to buy instead. You're going through the mattress protector. Now, I looked one up online. What size is your bed?
Super king.
Yeah, we're looking at $200 there, so we can take that off the cost. We're already at 4, 5,
and there's
4, 5, 6.
A partner in the bed, so you divide that by 2.
Well, there you go. 4, 5,
Oh,
6
you're
divided by
getting
2. That's
you're getting the hang.
225-ish, 230-ish. Carwyn, where are you at with the girl math?
Well, see, my maths was based off of basically rounding it up to 700, because anything that's over 650 feels like 700 to me.
Yeah, it
She's
does.
Swedish.
You're right.
Yeah.
And so if you divide 700 by 365, that's how many nights you're probably going to sleep in the bed a year. That's already down to $1.90.
$1.90 a night to sleep in these sheets, and that's only for a year. They last longer than a year.
Exactly.
We've had ours for years.
And you divide it by 2 because there's 2 of you, and you're going halves in it, I'm going to assume, because partners have a house together, that vibe. That's
Yeah.
95 cents a day.
Each. Oh, my God.
That's a steal.
And is that just for a year?
Do you know what that is? It's not a steal. It's basically free.
It's basically free.
Let's bring in Fazana Botha now from Sanlam for more on this. Fazana, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Could you give us some context on the girl math trend?
Well, to make it simple, it's just a very creative way of explaining some elaborate purchases.
So I think we all, boys and girls, and we've just talked about it in studio as well, have done that sum to justify a more expensive purchase. But ultimately, you are more satisfied with the more expensive purchase rather than going with the cheaper option? Or how does it work?
I think so. If you can get something that is more expensive, you feel like you scored, right? So from a behavioral science point of view, if they're justifying it in that way, it kind of makes sense to make that purchase at this time, even if financially it wasn't a part of the budget or the plan. Doing that kind of math sort of makes it all work out, and then it gives you a sense of accomplishment.
So in this regard, let's go to the more serious side. What financial advice could you give our viewers? We are in tough economic times. Is it okay to once in a while reward yourself? Is it sometimes better to go for the more expensive item just because it will keep longer? What sound financial advice is here?
Well, I think the thing that we could learn from the girl math thing is that you need to have those financial conversations and consider your purchases in that way. Granted, there's a little bit of a flawed reasoning in the way they're doing the math, but the fact is the math is very useful. So I think the advice that comes out of this is to make sure that you do consider all of your purchases and plan for rewards. So if there's something that you'd really like to have, it's okay to delay gratification. Get the thing you really want at the right time and at the right price, and then again, it will give you that sense of satisfaction.
Just the last one for Zana. To have these conversations on social media, does it make it a bit more approachable for everyone to have financial conversations and not just think about it in their rooms?
Yeah, I think so. One of the great things about social media is that it allows everyone to have a voice, even those who were previously averse to wanting to have a conversation. So I do think it does spark a conversation. I mean, the fact that women all over the world are having conversations about girl math and their purchases, there's boy math. I even recently saw that there's gym math. So everybody's doing math. I think that, social media is spurring the conversations, and it's our job as well to guide those conversations in a more educated manner as well.
Thank you so much for your time, Fazana. That was Fazana, just tell us a bit more about, I heard you were talking about dog math. I also saw it on social media, and it was quite funny where the dog was sort of saying, but, you know, I should get more treats. So let's just talk a bit more about that.
I briefly glanced over it because there was a gym math and there was a dog math. And I think if you start to look at each and every individual and everything that's in a household, and if we start to do that math, everything requires its portion, right? And if a dog could think and it could calculate, it would also be like, well, I want to get in on this, and this is what I deserve, and this is how it works out because I give you all these things. So why not?
Just making everybody part of the conversation. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Fazana. That was Fazana Botha from Sanlam.